Be nice to people. If you want to make changes, go make actual changes instead of harassing streamers on the internet.
No. No, I don't think I will.
Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. I have pretty low expectations when it comes to my interactions with randos online, but in today's video we're going to be taking a look at a couple of people who shattered, decimated, obliterated those already exceedingly low expectations.
I'm not even mad. That's amazing.
In my last video, I discussed the future of Hogwarts Legacy and the massive Silvertail W that she took by standing up to the absolutely deranged maniacs, or who she called freaks in her own words, those freaks who were harassing her and doxing her and her friends from Twitter. By the way, thank you all for the support on that last video. It really does mean a lot to me. I'm glad you're enjoying this new kind of content. If you haven't seen my last video, there'll be a link to it on the screen. Go ahead and watch that video once you're done with this one. But that video was much more positive, and it was nice for me, a little cathartic, because we deal with a lot of garbage online, and it's nice to see a W every now and then. But of course, seeing as how we're on the internet, nothing good can last. And the people who were called out as being freaks have taken to smashing their keyboards. They want it to be known that they are not freaks, and the way that they're going to prove this is by being little fucking freaks.
It's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off for them.
And I hear you asking, viewer, Mando, why does this even matter? It's because these people are now saying that the word freaks explicitly refers to LGBTQ and trans people. Like,
Are you retarded?
how self-loathing do you have to be? How self-obsessed do you have to be to take a word, and in this case a title, like freaks, and say, must be talking about gay people? I'm telling you, it's not easy covering these topics. I feel my brain cells dying. My IQ has lowered, which I didn't think it could, to be honest with you, but it has in fact lowered at least 69 points since I started doing YouTube. But you, viewer, you can help me regain those brain cells, restore my faith in humanity. If you enjoy me and the content that I create, be sure to drop a like on this video, subscribe if you haven't already, and share this video around. Introduce your friends to Metal Gear Mando content that they so desperately need. Our first subject in this video is this Twitter user, Squiggly, Cosmic Queer Tuber. God, I fucking hate it here. This is what they had to say in response to Silvervale. Oh my god. I wasn't joking when I said I was losing brain cells because of this video. This is what the Cosmic Queer Tuber had to... I can't even say it. Here's what Squiggly had to say in response to Silvervale when she called out the freaks who were bullying, harassing, and doxing her online. Yeah, off. Absolutely no doubt those Twitter freaks are real people. Real trans people who you have framed as harassers and villains for having the gall to ask for solidarity. Play your game. Hope the fashion bigots pay you well. Could you feel the passion behind that tweet? Did you feel the burning hatred for this VTubing fox with giant tits? I don't think I've ever seen somebody this upset with somebody who's so happy in the video. Like, just look at the still of her, like, smiling, and then you just have this person absolutely freaking the fuck out over it. The duality of man, or the duality of whatever this individual and Silvervale identify as. And before we move on, because there's a lot we're going to talk about, but before we move on, this person is making the assumption that Silvervale is talking about trans people and gay people, which also means that Squiggly here is admitting that trans people and gay people were the ones who were responsible for harassing Silvervale. And I want to stop saying harassing her. It was harassment, but they doxed her. They doxed her and doxed her friends. That goes a bit beyond bullying and name calling. But this is already a gigantic leap in logic. In Silvervale's response video, she even says,
LGBT people are awesome. Twitter people are not awesome.
and that's 100% correct. People on Twitter suck ass. I'm on Twitter, and I suck ass. I mean, sometimes.
Hell no, man. What the fuck?
And also, just to make a note of this, in Silvervale's video, you can see she's getting a lot of new subscribers, new followers on Twitch. So I guess she is getting paid pretty well for it. So Squiggly, I guess you can take solace in the fact that she is in fact getting paid. So that's good. Now, this next tweet here, I actually do really feel bad for Squiggly. This person is clearly mentally unwell. They have this perception of the world that is just extremely warped, to say the least. I blame Twitter for a lot of this. I think being terminally online really does some irreparable damage to how people view the world. But just listen to what they have to say here. Do you know how it feels to exist and be hated, judged, excluded, wished death upon for the crime of being? To see people like you use your platform to keep the fascists in power, in relevancy, to support my own fucking genocide, can you imagine that? Now, I don't want to downplay what they're saying, because I do believe that trans people do experience those things in real life. You know, when we're not talking about playing a video game, sure, trans people are excluded, and sure, they're probably bullied and harassed as well. But we're not talking about what happens in real life. This person is talking to Silvervale, a VTuber, about playing a video game. And let's not forget, Silvervale herself said she doesn't agree with J.K. Rowling and her stance on trans people.
We are going to play a game, and I will preface this that I do not condone the ideals of this author. I just want to be a fucking wizard.
So what we're seeing here is this person attacking a supporter of theirs. And this is where you come to a point where you just kind of have to give up. Because who really gives a shit? This person's not going to be happy unless you bend to their will and follow everything that they say to a T. And I guarantee you that still will not be good enough, because they'll just come around and say, you should have done this on your own accord. It shouldn't have to take me telling you to do this to do it. You should want to do it yourself. These people are just so tiring, and they wonder why they're derided and they're mocked. This kind of behavior, while I can understand people being frustrated, it's not going to help your cause. It just makes other people from the outside look at you and say, wow, this person's a piece of shit. The last tweet that we're going to look at from Squiggly is how they ended this thread, which says, support trans and Jewish lives. They're worth so much more than a fascist wizard game. So much more. And I'm probably going to bleep out a lot of this because I'm going to get demonetized on this video. I cuss a lot by myself, let alone reading this. I mean, my God. But anyway, yeah, trans lives aren't in danger. Jewish lives? God, are we still on this goblin banker thing? Like, the only people perpetuating that are the woke progressives. It's nobody else. You guys are the ones that have the problem with the goblins, calling them Jews, which is just disgusting and disturbing. But I think if we had to tally up all of the trans lives that were taken due to Hogwarts Legacy, that number would come out to roughly 0. It would come out to 0. Squiggly would then go on through this thread and use the cloak of invisibility to hide a bunch of comments that they did not like. Referencing Silvervale's video again, this person does not want to actually go outside and make change. They would rather just do the easy thing. Sit on their ass behind a keyboard and yell into the void and harass, bully, and deride anybody who might have the gall to play a wizard game. We're not going to spend too much time on this next person because 1, they're a furry, and 2, because they're basically just echoing what Squiggly had to say. So this person says, Twitter freaks with nothing better to do with their goddamn lives, calling trans and Jewish people freaks at a time when there's an unprecedented push to make our existence illegal. This is why liberals will always side with fascists as long as they get to enjoy their treat.
You went full retard, man.
So as you can see, we have yet another very well-adjusted, mentally stable person, animal, creature, I don't know. Don't want to be in trouble for misspeciesing somebody.
Right to jail, right away.
Like, these people just have such a warped view on the world. Sure, trans people do face adversities. Don't get me wrong, that's not what I'm saying at all. But bringing up things like wanting to make our existence illegal, I don't know what they're referencing. I'm going to assume they're talking about kids not being able to get puberty blockers or have some kind of body-altering surgery, because I don't think that the government's going to be going around kicking in trans people's doors. Like, they're not going to bust into Sophia Narwitz's house or Lilith Lovett's house and throw them in jail for having tits and a dick. They're too confusing.
Jail.
And you already know where this person's coming from politically. I mean, they clearly hate liberals, so this person is for sure a leftist, and probably a communist. So going back to my previous point of, you know, who really gives a shit what this person have to say? They're a furry and a communist? Oh boy, there I go again, assuming things, don't want to mispolitically identify somebody. Oh God. Now, as somebody who's a nobody on YouTube and pretty much has very little internet presence whatsoever, as one nobody to another, the other being these two people that I'm featuring in this video, why am I talking about them? Why does this matter? Because it's the next step in this never-ending fight to perpetually demonize people that they don't agree with. It's the next way that they're going to be calling people things that they're not. Transphobic, bigots, racist, homophobes, whatever nasty word they want to use. Hogwarts Legacy is going to be around for a very long time. In games, in TV shows, who knows? Maybe we'll get some movies. Hogwarts Legacy broke these people, and they're not going to let it go because they're incapable of live and let live. That's not how things work, and that's kind of how I wanted to be for a very long time. And I definitely worry about hyper polarization on both sides of these things, but it's people like this who really drive the wedge that much deeper. Like, nobody in their right mind, no normal person looks at these kinds of responses, especially in the context of Silvervale's response video, and thinks, oh, these are totally rational people. Instead, it more likely than not has the exact opposite effect, damaging a cause. Because again, LGBTQ people, trans people certainly do face issues, but things like this aren't going to help. Even though it doesn't help, it at least gives us something to laugh at. I mean, that's the bare minimum. That's the way I gotta look at this, because if not, I'll just get depressed. I'll just start getting burnt out again, and then I'll go 8 more months without uploading a video. That's gonna do it for me today, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you enjoyed this video. As always, I want to know what you think about all of this. Let me know down in the comment section below. If you like the video, drop a like, and if you haven't subscribed to the channel already, what are you doing? Just hit the button, it's right down there. I know you want to. Of course, before we go, I want to give a massive shout out to all of my badass channel members. You guys are the best. If you want to go the extra mile, join this elite rank, just hit the join button right down there, right next to subscribe. Thank you all so much for watching, and until next time, I will see you in the next video.